Welcome to Stuff and Whiskey. I'm Josh.
And I'm Erin.
And we got called out by Matt Porter of ADHD Whiskey to narrow down our whiskey collection to the 5 whiskeys that we would keep if we were going to be moving.
Welcome to the channel, bringing a real-world perspective to the real-world whiskey consumer.
Today, we're talking about the 5 whiskeys we would keep if we're moving. And this was a challenge, like we said, by Matt Porter of ADHD Whiskey for the entire whiskey tube sphere. We thought it was very interesting, so we've taken it upon ourselves to do a video over it. We'll get into the ground rules once we get into the main topic, but first, we got to get into the first sip. We also have chapter markers below that will help you get around, but the first sip is something we do on every Tuesday episode, where we have a sample pool full of single samples that are blind to us, picked at random, so we don't know what we're drinking, but we've also never had any of these samples before, so we don't know what they're supposed to taste like. We don't know if they're available or allocated. We're totally flying blind. Let's see what we're working with here on the nose.
This smells like alcoholic apple juice.
Yeah, that's pretty good. To me, I'm getting a lot of alcohol.
Yeah.
It's definitely very alcohol forward.
Yeah.
It does have kind of an apple juicy, kind of to me like an apple banana juice. Like it's got like a little bit of banana. It is kind of fruit forward, but the primary thing in this glass that's coming forward is the alcohol.
Yeah.
Let's get into the palate and see what we're working with.
Okay. Wow, it's a little more fruity than I expected it to be.
The alcohol's there. That's the first thing that hit the very tip of my tongue. Lots of alcohol. It is extremely viscous, though. It is so oily, and it's making me salivate. There's a lot of density of flavor there. Maybe the proof is higher. It's not drinking really high proof. It's drinking very high alcohol.
Drinking high alcohol.
I know that kind of sounds
counterintuitive, but
the proof seems moderate, but the alcohol content is very forward.
Yeah.
It seems like it needs just a little bit more balance on it. But if you get past that, what's underneath that is really good, at least on the first sip. Very fruity, very oily and viscous.
Yeah.
Let's get into the second sip. That's usually where a little bit more of the flavors come out.
On this second sip, I'm actually getting less fruit, more oak.
Yep. That tends to be typical for us.
And more alcohol.
I'm getting less alcohol on the second sip, although the alcohol that is there isn't so much on the tip of my tongue anymore. It's more on the back end, and it's drying. Like the oak that's there is really sweet, but it kind of turns drying on the back end.
Yeah.
But the viscosity is still there. It's still really oily. It's still very dense in flavor.
Yeah.
One more sip before we give this thing our official ratings.
Okay. So this is getting worse the more I drink it.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it is really good, but the goodness that is there could be great if the alcohol weren't so prevalent and at the forefront.
Yeah, I think the more I sipped it, the more drying it got.
Yeah. I would say that's pretty accurate. So you ready to rate this thing nose flavor experience?
Yep.
Where you at?
Thumbs up and nose, just okay on flavor, just okay on experience.
Okay. I'm going to say thumbs up on the nose as well. Without as strong of an alcohol, it could have been 2 thumbs up on the nose very easily.
Okay.
But there's so much alcohol, just thumbs up. On the flavors, I'm going to give it a thumbs up. The flavors that are there are really good. But on the experience, just okay, because it's all getting overshadowed by the alcohol.
Yeah.
Let's find out what we're drinking.
Okay.
So this is, Nassif Family Reserve American Whiskey. 107 proof. Okay, a lot of things are making sense now. So this is light whiskey.
Oh, okay.
Wow, that's so, I mean, I guess that makes sense with the fruit forwardness, but wow, that is really surprising. So it definitely drank under proof.
Yeah.
Like
it
I thought it drank like a really hot 100 proof. These are very affordable. This is a pretty inexpensive bottle, like $40, I think.
Okay.
I think they're fairly readily available. They're not always in our market, and they're probably not always in every market. But if you can get them in your market, at least around here, they are in regular rotation. So, decently available. You don't have to have a hookup to get it. It's not allocated, anything like that. $40. The price is pretty good. Where are you at on the retail and consumer side of the equation? For us, the retail being the retail portion of a bottle, which is the price and the availability, and the consumer side of the equation, us as consumers, would we buy this product or not? Where are you at?
So for retail, it gets a thumbs up. Good price, good availability. But for consumer, it gets just okay. Because I probably wouldn't buy it again. It's not a hard pass, but it's like a probably not.
Yeah.
So
I think I'm in the same camp. Thumbs up on retail because the price is good for what you're getting, and the availability is pretty good too. But would I buy it again or not? If I had $40 sitting in my pocket and I needed to spend it on a bottle of whiskey, I'm not sure this is the direction I would go.
Yeah.
It's not bad. I honestly would maybe even, this might be like a perfect summer sipper on some ice. I would want to try it that way because maybe that would tame down the alcohol a little bit.
Harshness, yeah.
And then the sweetness might stay intact.
Yeah.
And you could have like a nice little summer sipper out of this.
That's worth a try.
So that is worth a try. We do have some of this bottle left because we got like a half a bottle given to us by Nate Souza. So he wanted us to try this for the channel. It's been in our pool for, I think, since last year.
Oh wow.
That's the way the blind sample pool works. We don't know what we're reviewing. So nonetheless, this was an interesting pour. I didn't peg it as light whiskey at all. So I'm very surprised. If
you like the format of this video, we do these every Tuesday. Go ahead and hit that like button if you like it. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. We do videos Tuesdays and Thursdays.
If you've had Nassif American whiskey, hit us up in the comments below. Let us know what you think. While you're down there, go ahead and check out the video description for a link to our Patreon. Over there, we have all kinds of stuff, including 2 additional bonus videos every week that we do for patrons, just like this first sip where we do like a little capsule review. It's a lot of fun. And if you like blinds and you want to get a little more interactive with the channel and start doing some blind tastings with us virtually, sample swaps, get in on giveaways, all kinds of stuff is going over there on the Patreon.
And if you happen to want any Stuff and Whiskey merch, you can head on over to stuffandwhiskey.com. Josh is sporting a little dad hat there. We have dad hats, t-shirts, all kinds of stuff, so go check it out.
All right, let's get into our main topic.
Okay.
So here's the ground rules of Matt's challenge. The ground rules are that we have 5 bottles that we can take with us if we were moving.
Okay.
His whole point was the fact that they had a potential move on the horizon. He didn't want to cart his entire whiskey collection, and it didn't make any sense to take bottles that were easily replaced.
Okay.
Because you could just replace them
when you get to your destination.
Right. You might love it, but if it could be easily replaced, you don't need to pack it and move it.
Right.
And then also, you necessarily wouldn't want to move a special bottle that was very low because if you're only taking 5,
finish that off.
Yeah, you could just finish that, and then you wanted to you want to maximize your space when you travel, which I know you can appreciate.
I love that.
So
all about that.
We've got 5 bottles, and they're going to be something that we really enjoy, and that also has a little bit of sentimental meaning to us, and they would be very difficult for us to replace. So first up on the list, and we're going to right off the bat break a little bit of Matt's rule because he said the bottle should be very close to full. But this Jack Daniel's special release rye, barrel proof single barrel rye, is so good. We completely whiffed on this and missed out on it when it hit our local market. They were just very hard to come by, and they hit secondary for $275, $300, and they just kept going up. And I could probably get one on secondary, but I don't want to pay that much for it. I traded into this one with some other stuff, and we just love it.
Yeah, it's good.
It's so flavorful. You love rye.
I do love rye.
But we are slowly nursing this one. This is an absolute special occasion bottle. And, we figure about that much is what the Tennessee Tasters barrel proof ryes from Jack Daniel's have in them. So if this were in one of those bottles, it would be completely full. So I'm not totally breaking Matt's rules. Next up is going to be 1792, aged 12 years. Now, we do really like this stuff. Came up in a first sip for us back in December, I think. And really impressed the both of us. I think we said something along the lines of like it was a weighted blanket on your tongue.
Oh, is that the one?
Yeah, and you said you could work with this. You're like, ooh, I can work with this. But this is really good just in flavor profile. Yeah. It's sweet, it's oaky, everything is in nice balance. We love this stuff. And this particular bottle is unobtainium in our local market. I've literally never seen one in Nashville, period. Even at price gouging secondary prices, they're not even on local secondary groups, so these would be this would be very difficult to replace. But this was a special gift from a friend of ours right before he went overseas for some military work. So this bottle is near and dear to us, and it definitely only comes out on special occasions. or when we want to think about our friend that we miss. So would not be easy to replace that one, much less a sentimental meaning behind it. With that said, we're going to go into another bottle with some sentimental meaning. And this is New Riff Single Barrel Proof Bourbon.
This is the best single barrel I've ever had in my life.
Of
anything.
Yeah. So this is a bottle that was picked out back in 2019. I was not fully on the bourbon nerd train yet, but my best buddy since 8th grade was on the bourbon nerd train. He got a job at this place, and him and some of his coworkers went on a pick, like a private barrel pick at New Riff. So everybody that went had to buy 6 bottles of it, and it's a single barrel. So this is the only one that exists. Yeah. And my buddy got 6 bottles, and he gave us one, and we loved it so much that we had to beg him to give us another one.
Begged him for a second bottle.
And I actually still owe him. I'm still hunting for a bottle to replace that, but this is full. And it is so dark. It is so rich.
So good.
It's so good. You said it tasted like it reminded you of New Salem?
New Salem, like in Petersburg, Illinois, where Abraham Lincoln lived. They have like a log cabins, like a reenactment of that time period. And drinking this made me feel like I was walking around in New Salem in the log cabins with all the ladies in their like 1900s dresses, which I love.
Yeah. It's oaky. It's kind of got a dusty quality to it. It's really good. So every time we have this, we love it. And bonus points that it's from my best friend from forever ago. Speaking of sentimental barrel picks, we got another 1792 product in here, and this is going to be 1792 foolproof, but not any 1792 foolproof. This was the first barrel pick that I got to go on with a local store, and it was such a fun experience. Unfortunately, Erin did not get to go. You had to work. You had to adult.
Somebody has to adult in this family.
Yeah, but I got to go. It was awesome. The 1792 distillery, they don't do tours anymore, but they are bare bones about their business. It's very rugged and rough and raw, and the tour was very cool. Like, I've toured distilleries before, so that didn't blow me away, but they were very much about their business. But the barrel pick happened in the Rick House, and we had the 4 barrels that we tried. This was far and away my favorite one right off the bat, and I lobbied for it. It was actually mine and the store owner's favorite one, and then everybody else, as they sampled through, everybody was on board with this except for one person who wanted something that was a little bit softer. There was one kind of soft barrel in there. And I'm like, if you're going to get a 1792 foolproof, you want the full proof. You want the punch. You want the power. And this thing is so oily.
It's good.
So viscous.
It's good. I like
it's like, it just came up in a double blind head-to-head for us against Stag Jr. And we said that this was like cherry extract.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, cherry extract, and so oily.
Yeah.
So I would absolutely grab. We actually could have just made the list of 5 of those because we have that many of those.
You had to buy some.
Yeah, I bought a bunch.
Yeah.
Because I like it that much. But our last bottle is going to be, no surprise to anybody who keeps up with the channel, it's going to be rare breed.
But not just any rare breed.
Not just any rare breed.
Because you can go get any rare breed.
The discerning eye will see that this is the non-chill filtered, duty-free, travel exclusive. So we got this through the generosity of Josh Smith, and we don't know when or if we'll ever get another one of these.
It's so good.
We have one that we actually are going to be getting our hands on, supposedly here very soon. And
I'll believe it when I see it.
If we get that one, we'll just grab the full one and take that one with us.
And then we'll give this one away when we move.
Correct.
If we move in this hypothetical situation.
Correct. We will bless up and we will distribute this, probably through samples to a bunch of people.
Yeah.
But until then, until we get that next one, then this will be the one that we're grabbing and taking with us because we both love rare breed.
Yeah.
And this stuff is just so good. The non-chill filtered cannot be easily replaced. Go find the video of this versus the regular rare breed. I'll put it in the video description below. Go watch that to see what we think about this. So that's our list. We've got a bunch of sentimental bottles.
Yeah, most of them are. Yeah. I think all of them are, except for the Jack Daniels. We just really like the Jack.
And the rare breed's not. Well, it is sentimental because it was a gift to us. Yeah. So yeah, none easy to replace. And we would probably just move with those 5, hypothetically. And then we would probably just buy a bunch of rare breed and New Riff Rye and some Knob Creek and some other things.
Sagamore Spirit Double Oak Rye too.
Yeah. We would get all our staples that we love so much. And speaking of staples that we love so much. Let's get into some other stuff.
Okay.
And we're going to roll into a staple TV show, a television series that we do love so much.
We do.
Talking about a lot of sentimental stuff. So our other stuff this week is...
This Is Us.
This Is Us. If you watch This Is Us, if you're watching it, you probably love it.
Yeah.
If you've never watched it or never given it a chance before, it's definitely worth it if you like the feels.
If you like the feels.
Is that fair?
Yeah. If you ever watched the show Parenthood, I think this is by the same creators of that show.
I think so, yeah. Similar vibe at least.
So it has that similar vibe, like kind of a coming of age, but for adult story. It's got you in your feels most of the time. You're either happy crying or sad crying. Somebody's gonna cry, but it's usually good. Yeah, it's just a good show. And right now it's the last season of it. So we're watching that through. And then it's done. I think it's 6 seasons and then it's done.
And because it's coming up on the end of the last season as of the filming of this, it may be done by the time you see this, but we're bringing it up because the series is concluding and you can kind of watch it front to back on whatever streaming platforms that you can access it from, that you have services with. We watch it on Hulu, but I'm sure there's ways you can find it if you're motivated, but it's definitely worth at least checking out. My longstanding joke on it is that I don't watch reality TV. And I don't watch a lot of TV, period, unless it's us together.
You watch more TV now that you're married to me.
Yeah. But it's more reality than any reality TV series could ever be.
The script writing is incredible.
Yeah. Very good script writing. Very real world. Like we talk about how we're a real world channel. This is a very real world show dealing with real world issues. Yeah. And you're usually the one that says real world, and I'm struggling to say it.
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
You guys try to say that at home.
You do the heavy lifting here on the channel. I'm just here to serve the whiskey up. So
that's fair.
So in the video description below, we'll put a link to This Is Us on Hulu, which is where we watch it. But absolutely check it out.
Yep.
If you're looking for a show and you haven't given that one a chance, I am Randall. I see so much of myself in Randall in this show.
Yeah.
And it is alarming how much we're like. So anyways, it's a great watch.
But we digress.
Yeah. While you're down there, you'll see our email address. That's a great way to get in touch with us. And we're getting the word out early and often about the charity fundraiser that we do every October for To Write Love on Her Arms, which is a mental health organization that provides direct help and hope for people who are in need. They're hands-on. They don't just fight for advocacy or laws or awareness. They actually directly sponsor people in need. Yep. And bonus points, Toby on This Is Us is also associated with To Write Love on Her Arms. So he's doing his part to raise money for them as well. So hit us up at that email address if you're interested in learning more information about the cause, or if you're interested in donating a bottle to the cause, because bottle donations and the community rallying around this cause are how we raised $15,000 last year. Yep. And this year we're trying to raise even more.
That's it for this week. Thanks for watching.
Till next week, guys.
Cheers.
So I'll put the link to This Is Us in the Hulu. What?
What? In the hula hula hoo.